Hello, everyone, and welcome back to Pokemon Legends Arceus. Ooh, look, side quest.
So, John, is Neopets an
Hmm.
MMORPG?
The fuck are you talking about? no, no. So I asked, did Neopets count as an MMO back then? Originally, she argued no because it's completely web browser based. But then I asked, does the host of the game itself really matter? You know, a web browser in this case, I find is no different than a console. They all host the game. That's what matters. But then she says that MMO as a term implies a level of real-time combat and being able to interact in real time. Neopets was definitely massively multiplayer and online, but all combat was turn-based and there wasn't really a social area where you could see people's avatars or
It's
anything
okay,
like that.
Nora.
So
Nora. Did you not think that getting your own store in Neopet wasn't enough personalization?
hold on, I can't type this fast.
I freaking made my Neopet store have the Paper Mario music in the background.
I just want to roll back to that browser-based bit and point out that RuneScape is browser-based, so...
Not to mention all the live-action minigames you could play in... okay, maybe that's kind of a weak-ass argument because... by that logic, Final Fantasy X is a sports game. So,
Final Fantasy X would be
It's
the
not.
shittiest EA sports game. Because holy hell.
EA Sports.
Imagine that game was nothing but Blitzball.
Freaking, I'm just
Oh my
imagining like Blitzball 2022 or
Look.
some garbage.
It's possible because now we got that fucking dome in Las Vegas.
Blitzball is the most busted, unbalanced, exploitable sports minigame ever conceived. And it's a shame because I really like the idea of Blitzball, but they just didn't do enough with it in Final Fantasy X. So
when you talk to people about stuff like the Mario Tennis and Golf Game Boy games and Game Boy Advance games where they're like, "Oh yeah, it's a golf RPG." It's what they mean by that is like, oh, there's character building and leveling up, but the actual gameplay is still real time, you know. But if somebody was looking at that game, it's like, okay, what if we made a soccer RPG? But it's like, okay, you have the ball, and then you got to choose between shoot, pass, fake out, dodge. That's like they were like that, and it's like, damn, Blitzball.
you can't fucking classify anything as an RPG based on skill gains and customization.
Oh god, don't get me started on the argument that every game is an RPG
I would argue,
because you play a role.
okay, not every game, because like you're not playing any role in Tetris. You know,
You're
But
playing
most
the
games
role
are.
of
Most
a
games
block
are.
who's about to die in 20 seconds because it landed on the ground. and it has no life anymore.
Wow, this game sucks. Storytelling is terrible. 0 out of 10.
Or you're playing the role of 1,000 exploding beans with eyes.
Oh god, man.
Exploding beans?
Yes, they link together and they explode. They pop like balloons.
Oh, okay. I always figured you're talking about Puyo Puyo, right? Yeah.
Puyo, what's
But-
that? I'm talking about Dr. Robotnik's Mean Bean Machine, man.
Oh, right. Puyo Puyo. So, all right. See, I never got the
Avalanche?
idea that they exploded. Yeah. No. Pac-Man.
There's
something.
a Pac-Man one?
No, there's not a. There's a Pac-Man puzzle game, but it's not Puyo Puyo.
Oh yeah, I know about. Is that Pack Attack?
Pack Attack. I think
On
it
the
was.
subject of playing a role in video games, it actually that part actually like, oh hey, ghost type, but that actually like gets to the heart of why certain things in video games just kill the experience for me, like backdashing in Castlevania, for example, or more specifically, spamming the backdash in Castlevania. Because I just know that's a thing that Alucard would not actually do while exploring the castle.
Yeah,
know?
it just depends on like how much of a game for you is getting into the mood of the setting versus like just performing actions that provide dopamine to your brain.
Well, that's the thing for me, is because I really do want to get immersed in the setting, even for a game like Castlevania, which is very gamey, where you're cutting down candles to get power-ups. But like in Castlevania's case, I want to play the role of A badass half vampire who's exploring a chaotic castle, slaying monsters and hunting down his vampire father. I do not want to play the role of a gamer who backdashes his way to victory because it's slightly faster than running.
It is.
It is. Yes.
How much faster is it? Because I find
A lot faster.
Okay, because I find
It's a
the
lot
action
faster.
of having to push the D-pad away from the way I want to go, and then having to press the thing and like press the backdash button a whole bunch, which isn't on the face buttons for the record. So,
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Yeah, in Symphony of the Night, it's triangle.
It's like L on the GBA games. So,
Oh, but nobody does it in the GBA games because it's not
Yeah,
faster.
because
in
they know
GBA
that's
games.
dumb.
Oh,
Yeah, well, I mean that's probably why they did
over
it.
the long haul of a long playthrough, it is in fact quite a lot faster, and that slight advantage in speed adds up a lot. But like at the same time, if you're gonna spend half an hour, no, that's generous. If you're gonna spend 5 hours grinding for Chrysogrim, you can fucking run everywhere instead of backdashing. Come on. You canceled out more than the time that you won by backdashing.
Oh well, here's my counter argument. Shut up.
Or you could just
Wait, did you ever play the Saturn version?
A bit. Saturn emulation is a pain in the ass still.
It's a
yeah,
pain in the ass. Yeah, even today, I believe.
I mean, I can do it. I played the Shining Force 3 fan translations on emulator, but you know.
Well, the Saturn version, like before the second half of the game, when they go into the second castle, they give you the high speed boots. I forgot the actual name of them, but it doubles Alucard's running speed.
Oh.
and so it's faster than
so-
backdashing.
It's faster. I think it's faster than backdashing. I can't say for sure because it's funny because folks today are not even backdashing. They kind of are, but now they're combining it with the shield too because it turns out whipping out your shield cancels the backdash animation for you to do more backdash.
So you're canceling your backdash cancel? This is some Smash Brothers Melee kind of bullshit.
I hate animation cancels so much.
Oh shit!
No, more specifically, I hate spammable animation cancels because, like, yeah, there are certain games where being able to cancel out of something is a really satisfying technique that you can pull off occasionally, or
Yeah, if I think of animation cancels, I think of the applicability in like fighting games, like not platforming.
But then you'll get stuff like a slow weapon that's supposed to be slow and powerful, but some oversight in development allows you to just cancel the animation immediately after firing by doing something else, and then you just repeat the action over and over and over to spam the powerful slow weapon really quickly. And it's just like, yeah, okay. The person who discovered it deserves props, but everyone else who used it after it was discovered, y'all just cheap assholes. Come on. But like, man,
I applaud you. Fuck you.
well, I mean, the person who discovered it discovered a neat trick, and they basically uncovered something that the QA team should have uncovered. They deserve every second of exploit abuse that they earned, but everyone else who found out about that secondhand, you might as well just be using a cheat code,
Well, I mean, so the backdashing is one part, but it's like any other game where is there like a movement technique or trick that you learned about and you can't go back because of it?
So in Banjo-Tooie, there's a glitch when you're split up as Banjo, where you jump, you attack, and then for some reason during his air attack you can jump again. So it's like a free double jump. And as far as I remember, there's nothing really exploitable about it. Like, there's nothing that I can remember that you can get to that you shouldn't be able to get to without it. But with that said, it makes climbing stuff a whole hell of a lot faster. So it's like, bingo.
Mock ball for me in Metroid, Super Metroid, mock ball. The act of keeping your running speed in morph ball form. I cannot play the game now without doing it.
You see, Super Metroid's weird because I know that's a case of a game where it's like super weird hidden mechanics are actually built around. Because when you play Super Metroid's, like, leave it on the title screen, the demo will roll, and one of them, I believe, does show like Shine Spark cancel diamond ball ultra beam bullshit that you can do.
Not to that extent, but it does show off hidden techniques. But mock ball is a glitch. That is not an intended.
So it's weird though, because like Metroid is such a strange game because when you play the game as intended, it's really very different than when you start playing it using exploits. In that Metroid often doesn't become a truly open game until you start using exploits. Ironically enough, because when you're playing normally, the game pretty much intends you, okay, you get the morph ball, then you get ice beam, then you get super missiles. Like it wants you to do things in a certain order. Like maybe you can get some like upgrades out of a certain order, but most of the part for Metroid, they want you to do things in a specific order. But once you start using exploits, that's when the game really becomes as open as I feel like a lot of people talk about it meaning to be like, if that makes sense.
I am mixed on Metroid exploits because, you know, some of the exploits are legitimately cool things that you could see Samus actually doing. And, you know, but like, then there's,
you know, like going out of bounds and staring at the void.
So here's the thing. I don't mind people who really get into a game using exploits because, you know, if you bought the game, you should be able to have, there it is.
I know,
the Carnivine that's like a slightly pukier shade of green.
When it comes to Metroid, though, there's this kind of silly attitude that some people have where it's like, the exploits are the entire point. You can't possibly have fun if you can't jump up if you can't like wall jump up a single wall and completely defy physics.
So the thing about Metroid for me that really started bothering me is, again, like if you want to use exploits, more power to you. The thing that bothered me is when they started making bullshit speedrun tech part of the main game in order to get 100% completion. Frickin' Metroid Dread and Metroid Zero Mission with its goddamn stupid ass shine spark into this wall, then cancel into morph ball, shine spark, then cancel again, jump, soup to do, up, single wall jump nonsense. Screw that shit. I
would say that's more Fusion's fault though than like Super, because like continuing a shine spark from a slope is something Fusion introduced. It was not something that was based on an exploit in Super.
I'm not even blaming
yeah
players or anything like that. I just think the Metroid Dread went too far. It's like I replayed that game like 2 or 3 months back, and I was like, when I got to the shine spark rooms where you get like a missile upgrade, it's like I spent a half an hour on this stupid goddamn shine spark puzzle, and I want to rip my hair out. My time was doing pretty okay, you know, and then I got to that room, and I'm like, well, I'm getting Samus in the Winter Parka ending now.
Well, hold on, you got something different actually, because I want to learn the secrets.
Yeah, in order to get the Samus in the Winter Parka upgrade, John, you have first off, when you first get out, begin the game, and you wake up after Raven B kicks your.
You have an hour-long conversation as to whether or not Neopets.
Yeah, and then once you get the morph ball, you have to leave the game running for 30 minutes while you sit in the bathroom, having digestive issues, and then when you come back, you'll have wasted enough time that when you finish the game, you'll get the Samus in the Winter Parka ending.
Now I want them to actually include a Samus in a Winter Parka ending just for like super long playthroughs as a joke.
I mean, like, how well heated is the Varia suit really? Because I mean, like the freaking like shoulder things, those are like cooling systems, right? So that Samus doesn't die when it's too hot. So
well, it would be more like temperature regulation on the inside of the suit than anything, with heat shielding in the armor.
Yeah, but like the Zero suit's made out of like what? Like latex?
Zero.
It's made out of Zero.
Yeah.
Cool.
It's called the Zero suit, idiot. That's what it's called. Zero.
It's literally skin tight, so her sweat probably doesn't even get out of that. So she's got to be.
She
like,
powders up.
Nanomachines, son.
Nano machines, sure. Okay.
They respond to sweaty trauma.
Well, oh, hey.
Skunks.
You don't want to be staring down a group of 3 skunks, dude.
I hate these skunks.
They're
This is probably my least. Was it Gen 4 or was it Gen 5?
no, these are Gen 4 mod.
Gen 4.
So
Gen 4
their
mod?
base
Yeah.
form I don't mind. Their evolved form though, it reminds me of. So John, you remember Apollo Justice, where
I do.
the guy from the third case with the dildo hair?
Yeah, I do.
The evolved form of these guys reminds me of him.
Really?
Yeah.
I just listen. I know there's skunks and supposed to stink, but it's like you have to make. Did you have to make the face a butt?
Oh, also, it's
and
their cry is like a.
Their cry is literally ripping ass. Yeah, their cry is literally ripping ass. I was like, ugh.
Yeah, there's a reason why Gen 4 is not my favorite for Pokemon designs. I mean, I suppose they're at least more memorable than like 6.
You know, it's got like Gen 4 definitely has winners. Like, don't get me wrong. It's just that its lows are holy shit. Get it away.
I would say that it's got some. I'd say that Gen 4 for me, after a lot of deliberation, is very hit and miss. There's some that I like a lot, and there's some that I don't like a lot.
Holy shit! That Raichu is huge.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's an
it's an
Alphamon.
It's fucking gigantic. It's like
Look at this boy.
it's like humorously
Look at this girl.
big.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's a girl.
Yeah, you can tell because they cut the point off the end.
Well, you can also see the gender in the bottom left. Too.
Well, I mean the tail differences between male and female Pikachu, I find quite charming because the little like heart end to the light
It's like the female Pikachu. You're right.
Yeah, but the female Raichu's tail difference is just that they cut the point off the end of it, or at the
I
end
didn't
of the
actually
tail.
notice that the male and female Raichu kept a difference until.
Yeah, I didn't
literally
actually. I
just
didn't
this
notice that female Raichu tails had a chip at the end. I did not know that.
It just looks like the Raichu got its tail cut in a paper slicer.
But I guess to go on that conversation though, like, what were like some of your favorite like Gen 4 mons, and what do you think are like travesties in terms of design?
So it's funny that you say that actually, because most of the Pokemon that I don't like in Gen 4 are actually evolutions of existing Pokemon. I think
Right.
that most of them are dog shit. Gallade, however, exception to that rule, Gallade fucking kick ass. The thing about
Really?
Gen 4 that I've noticed is that it's very hit and miss, high highs, low lows, very few like Pokemon. Versus Gen 6 and Gen 8, I think have the
Okay,
worst selection.
For the life of me, I do not get the point of Gallade. It's just an uglier Gardevoir.
Because it's cool. It's got sword arms.
It's cool.
Sword
It's
arms.
got sword arms. It's got stilts for legs.
I thought you liked sword arm online.
Sword arm online.
Look, Gallade looks just like a lamer Gardevoir, but I will give you the sword arms. They were very cool when Scarlet and Violet added them to a robotic Gardevoir, but like.
Yeah, so
no.
I'm looking at the list of Gen 4 Pokemon right now. Oh, actually, there's less Pokemon designs that I like in Gen 4 than I was trying to be nice. Yeah, most of the new evolutions suck.
I have to
the
go
new
back and
Eevees are
remember-
good.
The new EVs are fine. I have to mimic what you said before. Like the Gen 1 evolutions, I think are just a travesty, except for Rhyperior. I
think Rhyperior is over designed as hell. It's like they just slap more shit on top of it in order to make it.
Yeah, but that's what makes them hit hard.
I'm with John on the Rhyperior train.
Yeah, but like Magmotar, Electivire, Tangrowth, which we saw earlier, Licky.
Oh, Licky makes me sad. Porygon Z is another good one. I think Porygon Z looks
Licky sounds like Dun Spars. Like
Dun.
Oh, Dusk Noir looks cool. Frostlass, I do like Frostlass.
Lucario's a classic.
Lucario's neat.
Yeah.
Cherim, it's a bad Pokemon. Like in terms of stats, its stats are terrible, but the actual design is cute, and I like that when you use Sunny Day, like the flower opens up. That's neat. Purisuchu is one of the cuter Eevee clones, I think.
would you
Yeah,
actually
close.
use Sunny Day though?
I mean, Sunny Day's a trap. It's like, oh, this is the The weather effect that's good for grass type Pokemon. What does it do? Increases fire type attacks by 50%. Excuse me?
It depends on like the model in question or the sprite, but I like the resting bitch energy of Ugly.
Isn't the only actual function of Sunny Day to quick fire Solar Beam or something?
So it fire attacks plus 50%, water attacks minus 58%. I believe it does supercharge Solar Beam. Stuff like Synthesis heals 100%. God, there's like some other hidden bullshit.
Yeah, there's a lot of little things about it. Yeah, but people use it's more of a competitive move than anything else.
There are so many utility moves in Pokemon that would be so great if you could only battle with more than one Pokemon at a time.
Have you? I mean, I've also never liked double battles though because I feel like they add too much complexity.
Too much complexity in Pokemon? Really?
Well, that's the thing. Part of if I'm playing Pokemon, I want it to be simple. Also, I feel like there's just more cheese factor you can do because if you do double battles, you can do stuff like skill swap, Slacking's ability with the opponent or other nonsense.
The only bad thing double battles add is so much goddamn lag because Pokemon just will not evolve the way it presents its attacks.
They also take a lot longer too. Like each turn, you have to watch for animations.
That's what I did. That's what I just said.
Oh,
so much lag.
When you said lag, I thought you meant like
actual
lag.
slowdown.
Yeah.
No, I mean all the your attack went up, your speed went up, and this Pokemon is confused. Will it attack?
Oh yeah, they still do that in Scarlet and Violet. It's like, okay, if you use Curse, why can't you just show an animation, say, like an animation for stats changing in general, and just say attack went up, defense went up, speed went down, all in one text box. Please, God, Game Freak, why?
Because
Why?
like a lot of Japanese game developers have a phobia against changing anything about a game's feel. It has to feel exactly the same every time. And that's just the law, I guess.